Hey guys, I'm Josh with Metal in Motion Outdoor Power Equipment Repair. Today I just wanted to show you a quick video on how to test blade switches and brake/clutch switches. After making the solenoid video, I had a lot of questions as to how to test these switches. People were not getting 12 volts to the solenoid, and therefore they were wondering if they could test these on their own or if it was something they had to take in. So I want to show you guys how simple it is to test these switches. It's not hard to test them. Sometimes the hardest part of the job is just getting to the switches, or sometimes even getting them out. That's the hardest part. But I had a bad switch and I ordered a new one, and I wanted to shoot this video before I put it in the mower. So I'll show you guys how to test them. And so pretty much what we've got here is we've got a switch that obviously you can push in and release. It's got 4 terminals on the bottom, and if you turn it flat, the 2 left terminal, or the 2 left spades, complete a connection when the button is pressed or released, and the 2 right ones complete a circuit when the button is pressed or released. I don't remember which side goes to which, but we'll test it and we'll be able to find out. And what happens is when you push your brake down, this button gets pressed in and it completes a circuit from your key switch, goes through your blade switch down to this brake switch, and when that button is pushed in, it allows the voltage to go through the switch down to your solenoid, therefore energizing the solenoid with 12 volts. When you release this button, it actually completes a circuit on the other side with ground. You have a ground wire that comes in, and it goes through your blade switch and down to your brake switch here, and when this button is released, it's allowed to go through the switch, and it goes to your ignition module, or your magneto, that runs your spark plug. And when it's released, that magneto is grounded and your motor turns off. So it's a safety feature they have that if you are not operating the mower according to the manual, that it'll shut off as a safety feature. So I'm going to show you how to test these. Pretty much all you're testing for is continuity. These switches are prone to get shorts in them. They're prone to get sloppy. And so what we'll do is we'll run a test, and I'll show you some things you can look out for. I've got my voltmeter set on a continuity test, and I've got it to where it'll beep. If you've got these kind of clips, I recommend getting alligator clips for the ends of them. They make this job a whole lot easier. And what you'll do is you'll clip the alligators, or I don't have them, so I'm just going to touch them on here. I'm going to put my one of my multimeter leads on the bottom left, and again, this is with the switch turned flat. The long end of the switch will be flat. I'm going to put my other multimeter lead on the top left, and I just need to make sure that my leads don't touch each other in the center. And what I'm going to do is, this side is not beeping, so I'm going to push the switch and see if I get continuity. I do. Okay. So potentially this switch is good. Now, because I had to push the button in order to get continuity for this side, that tells me that this side, the button should be released, and I should have continuity. So let's see what we get. Multimeter lead on the bottom right, multimeter lead on the top right. Nothing. I have no continuity, so this switch is bad. I had continuity on one side with the button pushed down, therefore I should have continuity on the other side with the button released, and I do not. Now, let me push the button in and see what I get. I have continuity, so something with this switch is not right. This switch is not, it's failed in some way, and therefore needs to be replaced. I have a new switch here, and I want to show you how the new switch is supposed to be so you can get an idea of what how it tests. I'm going to do the exact same thing, put a multimeter lead on the bottom left, put a multimeter lead on the top left, make sure they're not touching in the middle, and I have continuity, and the button is not depressed. So that tells me that this side is the side with the button released. I have continuity. When I go to test this side, I should have to push the button down in order to have continuity. So let's see what we get. Push the button down, I have continuity. So pretty much I have continuity on this side with the button pressed down. I have continuity on this side with the button released. That's the way these switches should work. What I also test for when I'm doing these switches is at what point does it engage the circuit. In other words, if I put this on here, like so, like we were doing, how far do I have to push the button down before it turns on? Because what will happen is I've had some scenarios where I looked under the mower and the brake was pushing the button down, you know, about probably that far, but the switch was so wore out and sloppy that it had to be pushed down that far in order to be engaged. So upon replacing the switch, it took care of the problem. So these switches will just get sloppy inside. The other thing I'll do is I'll try to see if there's any just kind of, you know, sloppiness inside as far as wiggling it around. I'll get continuity sometimes, and then I'll wiggle the switch side to side, and sometimes you'll lose that continuity. And what that tells me is that the switch is it's just so wore out inside that just needs to be replaced. And so those are a couple things to check for. But really, that's it. They're a simple switch. The easiest part is testing them. The hardest part is just getting to them. And you do not have to always take these out of the lawnmower in order to test them. Sometimes they're mounted upside down. Most of the time I see them mounted upside down for the brakes. And you can get your alligator clips on the spade terminals, and then you can push the pedal down and try to engage that switch with the pedal. And if you hear beeping, you know, for the correct sides, then you know you're good. Sometimes they're mounted in a hard place where you have to take them out, and that really is the hardest part, is just getting them out. So I'm Josh with Metal in Motion, Outdoor Power Equipment Repair. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more videos.